we're back for another episode of Buzz on Real Estate with me, Bryce Ocepek, the broker owner of Coldwell Banker Anabasis Realty here in Jacksonville, Florida, and I am with my great friend Quinn from CrossCountry Mortgage. So happy to have you here, brother. Thanks for being here.
The honor's mine. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so we've been friends for a while. Obviously, we go to the same church. I see you all the time. We saw each other in Orlando at some events that was going on.
Yes, some great training
with him. Have you been to? It was Tom Ferry's event, right?
Yes.
Have you been to a Tom Ferry event before, or was that your first one?
That was my first one.
And
yes.
what did you think about it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of good content. CrossCountry, my company, has a lot of partnership with Tom Ferry, so glad that our name can be associated with someone as successful and efficient as him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was eye-opening for me, honestly. The stuff that he was talking about, like the way that you can train AI to like do your SEO and actually come up in search results on like ChatGPT and Perplexity and these different things. And he's just full of all sorts of new innovative ideas, and I know he's got some powerhouse teams and some crushers that are associated with his organization. So that's awesome that you guys get to tie in and probably do a lot of business with them, I'm sure.
Yeah, really thankful for it.
Yeah.
And he's preaching the good stuff. Like, everybody knows what they need to do in your business or in my business. Mm-hmm. It's difficult sometimes to do that consistently.
Of course.
But then he's also tying in the knowledge on the front hand and the back hand to make it as simple and as repeatable as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me a little bit about your genesis into real estate, right? Why did you choose it? Why did you want to come into it? How did you get started? And tell me just, from the beginning.
Yeah. So out of college, I knew nothing about real estate.
Yeah.
And the first number that I remember someone buying a house for that was close to me was back in central Pennsylvania, near my family home, $90,000. I was like, oh my goodness, that much for a house? Because you just don't know until you know.
Uh-huh.
And then Bigger Pockets got me interested in the world of real estate and investing.
Yeah.
I was working as an engineer and making decent money doing that, but examining Excel sheets all the time, very far from the end customer. Mm-hmm. And a family member in real estate said, hey, you should use that engineering, that numbers mind to look at mortgage loans. Mm-hmm. And that got me interested here.
Yeah.
A lot closer to the end customer and making a bigger difference than building server racks like I had been doing before.
Yeah, exactly.
So that began the genesis more than 6 years ago.
Oh, 6 years ago.
Now I've been in the mortgage business and for 4 years and real estate investing for a little bit longer than that.
Okay. So when you first got started in the mortgage business, were you with CrossCountry?
I wasn't. I was actually in Virginia when I started.
Okay.
Moved down here about 3 years ago and joined CrossCountry last year in 2025. Mm-hmm. And they've been great, both for me, to me, and my business. So.
What was like the thing that you learned the most as you were just getting started and really like starting to like get your feet in place and find success?
Yeah, it's about relationships. Mm-hmm. And the details matter. If it were just the numbers, then everybody's on the same level. But really, you have to intentionally know the person that you're working with. You want to know everyone in the transaction. I want to know the realtor, I want to know the buyer, and what's important to the buyer, because that makes whether it's a good deal or what facet they're looking to optimize of the deal for them. It's not just about the numbers, because anybody can make the numbers look a certain way.
Yeah, of course. It's an emotional process. It's about relationships and, like you said, knowing everybody in the transaction. So somebody told me very early on in my real estate career, and it stuck with me for a long time: do your job, do everybody else's job, and the people's whose jobs you can't do, annoy the shit out of them until they do their job. And that has stuck with me, and that has got me to the closing table on a lot of deals that probably would have otherwise fallen apart.
That makes a huge difference. Some of the best agents that I work with, you'll see them following up and making sure, like, hey, are we going smoothly here? What else can I do? Mm-hmm. And then whether it's a difficult deal or could have turned into a difficult deal, that keeps the transaction so much smoother and everybody happy at the end.
and like creative problem solving, because there's
Yes.
going to be stuff that pops up and you got to find a solution. And obviously
Always.
there's different types of mortgages and things that you can do to kind of finagle and make things happen depending on people's situations and stuff like that. So I know CrossCountry has a ton of programs that are similar. Tell me like one of your favorite programs within CrossCountry that really has made a significant difference in getting people to the finish line.
That's where the details matter. So there's the normal VA loan, FHA loan, and DSCR, but like to know the details of your buyer's situation and then how we can actually fit it in. Recently, had an FHA loan where the appraisal wasn't going to, there was a 10% appraisal gap. My buyers didn't have anything else to bring to the table. We used down payment assistance to cover the gap, and the agent did a great job negotiating to solve that. Right now, a VA loan where we had to work out with how much is left on their eligibility and make sure that they could qualify when another lender told them no. A DSCR loan, so you're not looking at the buyer's income,
You're looking at the properties.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even when the appraisal said you can only rent it out for this much, it was going to be less than the mortgage amount, but they're short-term renting it. They know how much it's going to rent out for actually. They don't care what that is, but even though the DSCR was less than 1, we were able to get them a really good option for prepayment, down payment, and interest rate that works for the buyer.
Based on the short-term rental income.
Based on the
potential short-term rental
yes,
income. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we
That's
have the
a
same
new one.
programs.
I
It's
like
knowing
that.
the details to work out the right thing for that scenario and going one step deeper than.
Does that pop up a lot with like St. Augustine properties and stuff like that have a lot of, because I feel like there's a lot of short-term rentals down there.
Yeah, anything at the beach or desirable areas, you're gonna run into that of like, oh, you can rent it out for $3,000 per month long term, but we know the short term rental is gonna be like $7,000 a month if it's managed properly.
Okay. And you guys just pulled the data and use that. That's a new one. I actually haven't heard of that one, so maybe we'll have to do some business there. What is your goal for 2026? We were talking a little bit off screen before we started the episode. He has had the best 4 months of his career in the last 4 months.
It's been a good spring.
Is saying a lot. It's a testament because it's a challenging market right now. So tell me a little bit about that. What you think led to your success, crushing your all-time highs, and what are your goals for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so we always see a better market in the spring. There's been a lot of interest there, and interest rates have really helped out as well. But really, relationships. I've had repeat customers, and I've had some good agents that want to have their clients work with me because they've seen what I've been able to do before. And not just making the numbers work, but when it comes down to crunch time, making sure they get to the closing table or get the best deal as possible. So really relationships have made the difference.
And what is your strategy in building relationships? Are you going to networking events? Are you reaching out to real estate agents to try and connect? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, it's a little bit of doing the things that we all enjoy, eating together, making money together, but it's also what have you done for me lately? So providing them with the knowledge of the market and the knowledge of my business, like what's new and available in the lending, just like we were talking about with AirDNA and short-term rentals.
Do you have like a letter that goes out weekly to your customers or something like that as far as like information on the market and stuff?
Not weekly, not so much as, hey, it's another week, here's a Friday, something may or may not have happened. But whenever something does happen, I want my email and my call to be top of line to them.
Of course. Yeah, we've seen a couple of different people that are using recently like some automated systems which will like text once a week and show like updates in the rates, where it'll show like conventional VA, FHA, the differences in the rates from like week to week and stuff like that, and kind of keeping customers on a drip for that so they can kind of watch the market and the rates and see how things change. And we've seen some people reach out like, you know what, it dipped a little bit this week. Like maybe I'll refi, or maybe I'll take a look at purchasing this investment or something like that. So it's good to be top of mind, stay in front of people, digitally as well as in person. There's nothing like a your voice and your face, and using that as key to success, obviously. So goals, what's your goals?
Yeah. To be closing 7 loans a month really helps make the numbers work, because the end number for me right now is retiring the wife. So
Okay.
she's doing a great job being a nurse over at the Mayo Clinic, but we want to provide her with the opportunity to stay at home.
So you guys can have some kids. Right?
Financially, exactly. Yep, just got the minivan recently, so got to fill that thing up.
Oh, the minivan. Let's
Yes.
go. That's awesome.
That's certainly been a goal.
The preparation is in place.
Yes.
So 7 loans a month. That's what you need. And what did you do the last couple months?
I think I'm averaging around 6.
Around 6.
Yeah.
You're right
4
there.
months. Yeah.
You're right there. Just got to keep pushing the needle.
Yep.
You're getting there. That's awesome.
And that's from a numbers point of view.
Yeah, of course.
There's also the goals, like you can't put a number on people and families and relationships. Like every first-time buyer that we help out into a house, like makes a huge difference for them. Like, and that keeps you coming back, even on the tough days, even when the days when it feels like personal rejection or the market goes up. Like the people you help out keep you coming back.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's a rewarding feeling getting somebody to the closing table, especially the tough ones that you didn't think were going to happen, or the ones that you can tell make a significant impact on people's lives. You're like, wow, that was rewarding. That was better than just the check. Like, that was cool.
Yes.
What do you see in the market? Because I feel like that's a big conversation right now. Rates have been all over the place. The stock market has been all over the place. It's kind of a wild market right now.
Yes.
Give me your take.
Yeah. So it's always changing, and everyone's trying to have the magic 8 ball and read the future.
Yeah.
What we have seen this year is rates coming down. Everybody liked that. The uncertainty of the Iran and the Middle East happening, and now we're starting to see peace over there. We'll see if it lasts for more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But the oil market has put all inflation up, and because of that, rates are staying up. Everybody wants the Fed to lower rates. Everybody wants also a healthy economy.
Of course.
And they're keeping rates high because we know what's going to happen with inflation if they bring them down at the wrong time. And then just because there's a 3% rate doesn't mean you can afford the house if it just went up $70,000.
Exactly.
We want affordable housing.
Of course.
And so while we're seeing them stay high and probably anticipate 6% rates to the end of the year, like how can you best get in at an affordable payment for now, or with a plan to refinance in the future?
Yeah.
It's not worth it if you're buying over your head. So let's get the house, let's start building equity where you're comfortable at now. And that's difficult for a lot of people that are seeing what their neighbor has, what their parents have from 30 years of work,
Oh yeah.
or what their neighbor has because they bought 5 years ago in COVID. And comparison is always difficult, but
I agree.
making the smart financial decision for you right now is super important.
I totally agree. I think it's actually interesting. I was just at the Zillow conference in Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and they had their chief economist on stage.
Yeah.
He was going through all sorts of market research and data, and he actually put Jacksonville as the number 3 buyer's market in the country. And I've noticed over the last year or so, prices coming down, seller concessions attached to every deal. 60 to 80 days on market average. It's definitely trending to be a buyer's market in Jacksonville. And we've been coaching buyers and letting them know, because they're like, oh, I don't know if a mid-6s rate. I kind of want to wait for rates to come down. And it's like, okay, well, what rate makes sense for you? What payment, right? Because it's all about the payment. Makes sense for you. And then we can work backwards and say, okay, well, this house that you want, you need to be at this rate and payment. If we can negotiate this amount of seller concessions to get you to that rate and payment, you're going to accomplish what you want to accomplish right now, rather than waiting for rates to come down 50 basis points, and then that equity shoots up 50,000, and then all the buyers on the sidelines that have been all waiting come in at the same time, and now you're in a more competitive market. You're paying more for it. You lose out on the equity that you could have had from day one.
Exactly.
That buy down coming from the seller that we can negotiate.
And the same thing could happen this fall if we see the taxes cut.
Correct.
Everyone knows that that's going to save you.
When is that?
So we're voting on it in November.
Okay.
The Tallahassee has put forward the bill. It has to be voted on by everyone and approved to reduce the amount or increase the amount of homestead exemption over the next couple years.
And that would be to 250,000, correct?
Yes.
From 50.
Yep, it would be 2 steps up. I think the first year would be an extra 100,000 and then another 100,000 the second year.
Nice.
And that's going to save everyone like $100 at least on their mortgage payment just because of the tax bill.
Yeah.
Which makes everything more affordable.
Yeah.
And when everything's more affordable, there's more buyers, or everybody thinks I can buy the next house up, which drives up prices.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Well, let's hope that bill gets passed. I'll be voting in November.
Yes, because it's going to be more affordable for right now.
Yeah.
If you own beforehand, if you buy afterhand, it's probably going to equal out.
Exactly.
Owning beforehand, it's going to be great for.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you could leave the audience with one thing this week, what would you leave them with?
Yeah. Personal responsibility is going to bring success, whether it be in finances, in real estate, in all aspects of your life. And we can talk about the market, we can talk about things that are changing nationally, internationally, and on the state stage, but that's in effect, like, you can bring success to yourself and your family by doing the right things and being there for your community.
That's awesome. If you guys have any lending questions, complicated financing scenarios, Airbnb income, all sorts of stuff going on, and you need to contact Quinn, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, my Instagram, my website both put you in touch with me very quickly, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Buzz on Real Estate with me, Bryce Ocepek, broker of Coldwell Banker Anabasis Realty in Jacksonville, and my great friend Quinn at CrossCountry Mortgage, and we'll see you at the next one.